Hello YouTube, the Blind Wizard here, and welcome back to episode 11 of DanDaDan. There's no note from Joey, but there was. It's just that I'm doing all 4 of the episodes I have to catch up on all at once. If you want to know what that note said, go to the episode 9 video. But here we are, episode 11, the penultimate episode right before the finale, and telling me that we only have 2 episodes left, and we ended an arc. Are we about to start another one and then end the season right there? Well, if that's the case, that's a pretty weird way to do it. You would think, well, then again, Chainsaw Man had the same problem with Season 1. I thought Season 1 was going to cover all the Makima stuff. But nope. Season had to end with Katana Man, which is like the most underwhelming place to end a season. That's not a season finale fight. That's just another, like, yeah, Denji learned more about his ability fighting Katana Man, but I wouldn't call that season finale material. Speaking of Chainsaw Man, I haven't read any of that since the beginning of part 2. And that was already a long while ago. Wow. I think I'm at, what, chapter 110 or something? I'm way far behind on that now. But yeah, like, that's exactly my thing. Is DanDaDan following the same path as Chainsaw Man, with its really weird placement for a finale? Whatever. But in this case, we're jumping into episode 11, and let's see what the last episode. We had the aftermath of the previous arc. We had a very sad backstory for one of the alien guys, and he abducted a cow, because apparently cow's milk is an alien's blood. Who would have thought? And I genuinely did not expect that the cow in the opening would have that much of a significance. And I still stand by my theory that his son is gonna come to Earth to repay a debt of gratitude or something. Like, it's literally saving his life. And what did the Serpos do? They didn't pay him. They were threatening to cut his pay, which he obviously couldn't afford to do. But look what they did. They gave him a cow. The thing that would help save his son. I'm calling it now. He's returning. His son is returning at the very least. And he's going to become a cast member. But speaking of new cast members, the last episode ended with an introduction of a character named Jiji, who has probably one of my favorite English voice actors ever, Aleks Lee, aka Anos Voldigoad, which is the first place I heard him, Jin Woo and Shinji from the Thousand Year Blood War. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into the episode, and next time you see me here will be the post-episode discussion, and abracadabra. Alright, post-episode discussion time. But before I do, I need to clarify something from a previous episode, when I made a comment about whether or not the mantis shrimp boxer was the same guy as the one that looked way different in the school battle. I had to go and confirm for myself that they're the same guy, and the one was just a transformation. It would have helped if the anime had made that a little more clear, because apparently I was under this confusing assumption that there were 2 of them, or that they were one and the same. Like, they didn't make that clear enough? You couldn't have bothered to show a transformation scene? But whatever. Wasn't that also the episode with the 18 plus tag on it? And a weird reusage of animation and looking a little rough around the edges? Maybe they forgot to show a transformation scene? But I digress. I just have to make that clear for anyone that only watches these videos or, wants to comment on the reaction part themselves, that I now am aware that it's the same guy. It's the same mantis shrimp. Okay? With that out of the way, we can get on to the actual discussion of this episode with Jiji, his first full episode. I had a little bit of high expectations going into it because of his voice actor. They got a really good voice actor to be Jiji. I just don't expect him to be in roles that are goofy. You know what I mean? Like, he's a voice actor that does Anos Voldigoad and Jin Woo so well that it's like he exudes Giga Chat energy. And I say that many times for those 2 roles specifically, because those 2 roles demand a captivating aura. Those 2 roles demand presence. So when I heard Jiji's performance, I don't think of Aleks Lee for the kind of guy he is. But it works. It's a contrast to his other roles, and I find it to be enjoyable. For Jiji himself, though, what did I say last time? An 8 out of 10? I'm docking a point from him on likability, and he's going to be a 7 until he can earn it back or go higher, because he talks too much. He's a little too flirtatious. He talks way too much, says some stuff he shouldn't be saying. He didn't realize that Momo can actually hold her own. Like, he didn't need to be the guy to save her from anything. Although I find it oddly weird that ghosts possessing anatomy mannequins, dummies, that their story at the end of the episode is basically what Okarun doesn't want to say out loud. And that for a whole chunk of the episode, he's like paranoid that she's going to stop hanging out with him. And I'm just like, Okarun, that's not how that works, first of all. And second of all, that's not going to happen, ever. Look at the 2 times that something misunderstanding happened between the two of you, and it looked like you were never going to talk to each other again, but then you made up for it later. The first time was the misunderstanding with going back to school after Turbo Granny and the crab, and the second time was the recent incident with Ira. She's still only like a 5 on the likability, but because of Ira still being who she is, until I get any more of a reason to think that she has any kind of development, because she even thought that Jiji staying with Momo was a ploy. I'll let you have your way against Momo because that's a fun rivalry, but the minute you start dragging other people into that delusion, I just don't care about you anymore, Ira. You had your chance. You had development, but then you blew it. So it's like, did you even have it in the first place? At the end of the day, my likability for Ira's back to a 3. She had one good moment so far. Owning up for her mistake. Owning up for her spreading false rumors. I'll give you that. But first of all, you still think you're this self-righteous, important character, or that you have a grand mission? No, you don't. You suddenly proclaim yourself an angel when everyone else with a similar ability, demons. I can't. I can only have so much tolerance for those kinds of characters. Because those are usually the characters in anime that get beat up by the protagonist for having such a delusion. Here's the issue here is that Ira's not necessarily one of those characters. Acrobat Silky was. But then, of course, she gave up her existence to save Ira's life, and in doing so, her abilities got passed to Ira. Yay. What Ira needs is a true person to just humble her. She's too up her own ass. She's way too delusional for her own good. It's going to get to a point where someone has to stop her. I don't even care if it's for comedic relief. It will eventually drive me crazy. Anything else about the episode? Oh yeah, Okarun was a little jealous that Momo was being held by Jiji. It's like, dude, then maybe just talk to her about it. I seriously doubt she still has a crush on Jiji when her own friends see her in a relationship with Okarun. There's not much else I need to say about the episode because that's basically what it was. So I had to clarify something about Mantis Shrimp. And you know what? The anime doesn't do these any favors either. In other animes, you have title cards for when characters get introduced, for who they are, if they never get their name across. Me? Seiko's name wasn't even brought up for a while, apparently from the manga reader's perspective, for a long while. And like, how was I supposed to know he was Mantis Shrimp? How was I supposed to know Acrobat Silky? They don't say it in the moment. If DanDaDan had one flaw, it's that it doesn't introduce its characters when it should. Because it leaves us to be like, well, and what do we call you? But in any case, that was my episode 11 reaction. Before the night is over, I will have the finale, the final episode up with all of these. So I can then say that DanDaDan is DanDaDan. That's funny, right? Anyone? In any case, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you liked it. Hit the like button, subscribe, share the video with a friend, join my Patreon. And I will see you all in the next one. Abracadabra, alakazam.